Good morning. The thoughts for the day. Written a poem for each of the verses or the chapters of the Tao Te Ching. This is chapter 54, and I entitled the poem "The Microcosm and the Macrocosm." So here's this poem that I wrote back in 2019. A bird's eye view from a distance, way back in space-time, all is one. Everything belongs together. Dichotomies end. It all makes sense. Close up in the duality, things seem separated, as if there are differences, sides to belong to, and yet we are all one. So find reasons to belong to the whole. In prayer and meditation, as we look within, we can remember that life is one, and those who would separate us have only fear to offer and love to banish. A very strong statement from the Tao Te Ching that, of course, when we're in the duality, it all seems to be right and left, up and down, right and wrong, inside and outside. It all does seem to be that way. And our perception, I think everything is perception. My email address is 57perception@gmail.com. I'm just looking at it from the perception of somebody born in 1957. The way that everyone sees things is slightly differently, but within the duality, we all see things in twos rather than in one. This sides to take, but how can you take sides on a round planet? I often say that. And those who don't see the difference between the duality and the oneness, they just live in the duality, they exist in the duality, and they never even consider that there is a oneness that we came from, that we're going back to, that we can experience in prayer and meditation now. And we can put ourselves at a distance, at a different perspective to the way that things appear to be, and the way that everyone talks to you about sides, the people are one way or the other. On different issues of our time, people have a different view, and even in families, we don't see eye to eye with our own brothers and sisters. It's just we are individuals, and the only way you can be an individual is to have a different perception to other beings. If everyone had the same perception, then we would be in the oneness, but more than that, the duality would cease to exist. And so to be able to navigate through the duality, you have to be able to step back and to see the oneness, and to be able to realize that this is just a game that's being played out, that there is only one truth, and the truth is we are love. And so that's why at the end of this, I said, those who would separate us, the ones who want to remain in the duality, who want to deny that it is possible to take a step back and to look at to look at the way the world is from a different point of perception. Those who want to deny us that, they only have fear to offer and love to banish. And I don't see why anyone in their right mind or in their right heart would ever want to banish love. But that's what they have to do to allow the duality to continue apace in their lives, and for them not to ever at any point to step back and say, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? Is this a story of duality playing out here? Have I taken a side in something on a round planet? Have I done this of my own free will? Because if I haven't taken this step from my own perception. If I've been hoodwinked by a story that somebody's telling me that this isn't, there isn't a oneness and there is only a duality, have I deliberately chosen to accept what they've said, or have I had time to consider, hey, wait a minute, do I want to be in a place of fear, or do I want to be in a place of love? I need to step back, and my perception needs to be altered. The only way you can alter your perception is to, I think, go into prayer, meditation, go into seeking the wisdom of people who lived on this planet many years, many centuries before we showed up. Go and read that stuff. And I've found, I was brought up in the Christian church, but I've found in the writings of the East of 2,300, 2,600 years ago, that there is wisdom that is also in Christianity. I'm not saying that it's a dichotomy again. It's not. It's the same wisdom. It's just being told even before the time of Christ. So we are too busy, I think, maybe concentrating on the media, concentrating on newspapers and what everybody else is talking about, rather than taking a perspective of an ancient perspective, if you will, that has been lost along the way. And the ancient wisdom, this is not new to humanity, what we're saying. It's been pushed out. The original thoughts was to do no harm and to help each other. And then selfishness creeps in. And if you believe the Garden of Eden story, it's a selfishness. God gave Adam and Eve everything, but they wanted the one thing that he said that they couldn't have. It's, there's plenty of joy and peace and kindness and love available, but we keep going for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. We want to see the duality. We want to be immersed in the duality, and the duality is just a game. And the game, if you've ever played a game, whether it's Monopoly or table soccer, whenever you've played a game, there's always rules attached. That for the game to proceed, everyone has to agree to a certain set of standards, or this is how the game is played. And the duality is played out with up and down and left and right and inside and outside and right and wrong. There's all those things play part of that. But if it's a game, then if we're playing a game called duality, where are we supposed to be? Where is our consciousness supposed to be? It's supposed to be outside the game. It's supposed to be in the oneness of love. And then you can actually, you suspend, it's like going to see a film, you suspend your disbelief and watch what goes on this 3D screen. No, it's not even 3D, it's 2D screen. And you believe, if you're going to get the value for money out of watching the film, you've got to suspend your disbelief. When you're playing the game, you've got to play by the rules. But that doesn't mean that that is where you are consciously. You can be outside of that. And this is, like I said, it's 2,500-year-old wisdom. It's not something that that doesn't already exist in every human being. It's there. It was there 2,500 years ago. You don't have to go and have a new bit added on to you. You just need to go back to source, back to where you're from. You're from this oneness. And the duality is just this game that we've decided that we wanted to play. And of course, within the duality, there will be fearmongers, because they know it sells newspapers. If you're going for a walk in the hills and it says sunny day all day, you're not going to go into the newspaper shop and buy a copy, you're going to be reassured by that, and off you go. But if it says storm coming, you're going to go inside and buy the paper to find out what time the storm's going to be there. So it's a manipulation, it's a distraction, and people know that it works. It sells newspapers. It keeps you attached to the media because you need to know. It's like a soap opera. You need to know what's coming next. We're on a need to know basis, and unfortunately, all you need to know is that love wins in the end. And you don't need to buy into all the nonsense that they're telling you in the newspapers or in the media. You don't need, just need to center yourself and focus yourself on the fact that love always wins, always wins. People are dying. That is when they actually enter the love. The people who are being tortured by the Nazis, some of them said, if you kill me, I'm out of this pain that you're putting me through, and I am back in a place of peace. So throw the worst that you can at me, I don't mind. And that's a very brave or stupid thing to say, but if you really believe it, if you really have faith and you trust that love wins in the end, nothing can touch you. You are like Superman. There is no green kryptonite, because the worst thing that they can do is send you to the place of peace. It takes a lot of courage to be able to live that out on a daily basis. I am not scared of anything because I believe that love wins in the end. I'm going to read my poem again. The microcosm and the macrocosm, a bird's eye view from a distance way back in space-time. All is one, everything belongs together. Dichotomies end, it all makes sense. Close up in the duality, things seem separated, and if there are differences, as if there are differences, sides to belong to, and yet we are all one. So find reasons to belong to the whole. In prayer and meditation, as we look within, we can remember that life is one, and those who would separate us have only fear to offer and love to banish. Namaste.